Welcome back to the Unfiltered Convos podcast. We're your hosts, Linda
and Gina, and today we have another very special guest, and we're going to let her introduce herself.
Thank you for having me here. My name is Ari. I'm a real estate specialist with ABC4 Real Estate Essentials, and I'm just ready to get involved, get questions.
Get unfiltered with us.
Yes. I'm married. I have kids, and I've been living in Utah for a while.
How long have you been married for?
We've been married for this year is gonna be 12 years, so it's been
a long time.
A long time. Yes. Yeah.
How did you and your husband meet?
Okay, so I used to work at Quiznos, and you guys probably remember Quiznos.
Mm-hmm.
I started working there. He had just moved from San Diego, and the only job that he was able to find was the spinning sign. So he was always dancing outside. A lot of people had mentioned, that he was a great dancer. I didn't think so because I was a dancer at the time too, so I just thought he was okay. And one day he came inside Quiznos to buy food, and that's really when I actually saw him close.
He caught your attention.
Yes. Yeah, he had an amazing smile. And so from that day on, I just thought I have to have him. Yeah. Then eventually he started working at Quiznos. We became friends.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just dating.
Ever since then, it's been a thing.
Love at first sight. Yeah. How many kids do you guys have?
We have two. So the oldest one is 10, and then the second one is 4. He just turned 4.
So you have your boy and your girl. Are you done having babies?
I'm done.
Yeah,
yep. I'm done.
Wait, I kind of want to go back to where you said real estate specialist.
That caught my eye too. Like, wait, what's the difference between a real estate agent and then a real estate specialist, or is that like the same, just different words?
Yeah. So it is. We are calling ourselves real estate specialists because we are affiliated with the television, and so we just want to make sure that people recognize that. And if we have our clients know that we're just not regular realtors, but our agents, but we have that backup of ABC4 and Telemundo, then we're able to help them in a different way than other agents would.
So it's just like another form, like basically like another...
Just another way of saying
it.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, no, but you have that backup because you guys are involved with like the TV, not just like...
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I love that. How did you get into real estate? Because I met you when we were dental assistants. So how did you go from being a dental assistant to real estate?
So I knew when we first got married, we found a place to rent. And the lady was charging us, and it was super cheap back in the day, right? $500 a month.
Oh, wow.
And so I thought, if she has all of these condos and she's renting them $500 each month, imagine how much money she actually has.
Yeah.
And so from that day, I was like, I'm gonna do what she's doing. I'm gonna buy real estate and I'm gonna rent it eventually. Like that had always been my goal. And then I became a dental assistant.
Yeah.
I did that for so many years, and I wanted to be a hygienist.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. It never happened. And so we started investing. And then my husband said, well, why don't you just become a realtor, right? Because you can represent us, you can find the homes, and you could probably just have a better deal. And so...
And you don't have to pay somebody.
And I don't have to pay somebody, yeah. Okay, yeah, let's do it. So I was going to stay in dental and just have that on the side for the rentals. And then my mom said, I think you can really help the Spanish-speaking community, so why don't you just do it full-time? And it was scary because obviously as an agent you have to find your own clients, right? And so that is scary to let go of something that you know and love so much to become something else.
Yeah. And then just not having like the stable income, I'm assuming at the beginning, right?
Yeah. And my husband said, just stop working completely and do it full time. Like, just do it full time and see what happens, right? Just give it 1 year.
Yeah.
You're 100%. And so I thought, okay, yeah, let's do it. Let's help the community because I really feel like I can help them.
Yeah.
And that's how it started. So it was basically me thinking I want to do, what this lady has been doing for all these years and retire off of that. And then my husband and my mom saying, you could actually be really good at this, so just do it full time.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
It's so good to have that support system. Like, the fact that your mom encouraged you to do it and then your husband's like, you know what, dedicate your time to this. I'll handle the family financially while you go and chase. I love that. I seriously love that. Good
So wait, do you guys have properties now that you guys rent out, or are you just did you buy your first property and still living in it?
We have, we were renting. We bought our very first home years ago. And so that one is being rented out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the one in Eagle Mountain?
Yes, that's the one in Eagle Mountain. We're in Saratoga now. And once we're being there for 11 months. So one more month and then we're able to buy another property.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're just kind of waiting the time and get ready
to rent that and then go buy another one.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So slowly.
But you're doing it. Yeah, you're doing it.
A lot of people nowadays don't even have one property. You already have two.
Yeah, seriously. So good for you.
What does your husband do? Is he involved in real estate too? Or is he completely different?
No. He thought about doing it, but I'm like, okay, but you have to like really go out there, right? Like you have to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I'm not saying that you wouldn't, but I don't see you doing it.
Okay.
And he's in a really good
job.
Yeah. So he's doing software engineering.
Okay.
So he's okay where he's at. And I think, he's like obviously trying to scale and just to stay in that company because it's been so good for us. But yeah, no, he's not involved in real estate. He's kind of the landlord, right?
Yeah.
He's helping you out with that. But he's just a software engineer. Yeah.
That's still cool.
Not just.
That's still do.
They make pretty good money. Yeah, and that too. It's hard.
Yeah, it is hard.
Good for you. You guys got something good going for you guys. I love that.
You said that you have 2 kids. How has motherhood changed your perspective in life?
One, that I don't want to have any more kids.
With you.
And I think it's because I just couldn't handle it, right? And I want to give them the time that they deserve. And the second thing would be how the world is changing.
That's a big one.
So afraid of what could happen,
or what they're exposed to.
Yes, and I just don't want that stress. Like, I love the 2, and I'm already stressed about school and what they learn and what they see, what they not see, what they listen, and so I think motherhood changed me in a way that like the world is changing and it's changing so fast, and I don't think we're not ready for it. So I just want to have
just the 2
that I can protect.
I think it's hard as a mom to try to like keep up with like all the changes and just like you have to work full time, then the dad works full time, then you got to take care of you. Speaking of taking care of you, how do you prioritize your own mental health?
I think I'm
like, what's your self-care? Like, what do you do? What does Ari like to do to not go crazy?
Okay. I think working keeps me sane.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people say that. A lot of people go the opposite from work.
I have to do something else. Yeah.
That's good. That means you really love your job.
Yeah. I think I realized that I didn't like being a stay-at-home mom because I would get like exhausted faster and mad and angry at the kids for no reason, right? Like they're just playing. I'm like, just be quiet.
You're overstimulated.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so leaving the house and just talking to adults and helping adults and accomplishing, like seeing adults accomplish the goals. That is just
satisfying too.
Satisfying. Yeah. I'm like, I love that. And I guess I love watching television. I love crime shows. And so at night when everyone goes to bed, or Nathan is playing or he's on his phone, whatever, on my phone watching a show, whatever it is. And so I think that just makes me happy.
Yeah.
That's your self-care time.
Yes. Yeah.
There was like a couple episodes back where me and my sister are so different. I like to binge watch shows in one night, and my sister falls asleep the minute it's like the credits are coming. Which one are you? Do you binge watch like a whole night, or will you fall asleep the
both.
minute both?
Depends on the day.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. If I'm really tired, then
you'll fall asleep
I'll
before
watch it for like 10 minutes and I'm out, and then Nathan will keep listening to it, and then I'll wake up like, oh, did I fall asleep? He's like, yes, I watched the entire show for you. And then other times I'll pull an all-nighter, right? I'll regret it in the morning.
Yeah.
But it was so good.
The show's so awesome.
So good.
Oh my gosh. Well, you'll have to let me know which true crime shows you like, because I love watching that
You
stuff.
like watching true crime? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Actually,
Do you like horror movies? Like scary movies?
I know, because I couldn't go pee. Like, if I could not, I would, I couldn't go down.
Do you feel like they're going to grab your feet?
Yes.
Like when you're sleeping.
In your sleep?
Yeah.
Do you ever, I remember when we were little, you know how the basement, we had it in the basement, we would watch movies, and when it's time to go upstairs, we turn off the lights. I'm like,
you run,
because I'm like, they're going to grab me.
Yeah. No, and I still feel like that. If I'll have Nathan turn off all the lights while I make it upstairs.
You're like running up.
And if he turns off the lights, because he knows I hate the dark. Like, that is the one thing I just could never handle, the dark. And so when he turns off all the lights, I start freaking out. Like, oh my gosh, where's the light? Where's the light? Where's the light? Right? And so, I couldn't. I had to stop watching.
That's funny. Well, I'll keep watching them for you.
She'll do updates.
I'll give you updates. How do you approach teaching your children about like empathy, resilience, and kindness in this cruel world? Yeah, how do you teach them?
I think just bringing back what our parents taught us, because a lot of people went away from that. Like, that was bad, the way that they taught us. And maybe it was like some kids, right, went through rough times. But I do think that now some parents are taking it like way to the other side, where you are just giving everything to the kids, and so they feel entitled to things, right? Like, I grew up, I wouldn't say like very poor, but not on the poorer side.
Like middle class, kind of?
Yes, yeah. And when we got here to United States, we went through super rough path.
Wait, where are you from?
Mexico.
Oh, okay. What part of Mexico?
Hidalgo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so they were months that we didn't have food, right? And there was a lot of things that I didn't know that my parents were struggling, but eventually I caught up to the idea. And so I feel like bringing back what they taught us and making sure that the kids are not entitled, right? Or like, you don't have to have every single toy in the store. You don't have to have a candy every time I go. Even if we have the money, you don't have to have it. Or making sure that they know how to say thank you, like, and manners. Please, like, just those little things. Or I don't know, about sharing, especially when you have kids, right? Like, they want to find, like, it's mine, it's mine, no, don't touch it. And so reminding them that that's actually not yours, we paid for it, and you should share. So I would think,
just keeping the old traditions alive.
Not teaching them manners. Manners is something that a lot of parents lack these days in teaching their kids. I agree with you on that one.
And I do think it's true. Like, I feel like a lot of people take it to the extreme where it's like, oh, my parents did. Obviously, no parent is perfect. And then we take I feel like with us, we take the good from our parents and want to continue that with our kids. And then whatever we didn't like, then we're just not going to use it. But I do believe, like, heavy on manners. Like, you still got to say please and thank you. I agree.
So, how old were you when you came from Mexico?
12.
Wow, that's a very memorable time. My son isn't your daughter 12 or 10? Okay. 10, yeah, my son is 11, so that is a very memorable time. I can imagine. So what was that like for you? Like, coming to a whole new country? Like, I bet you that was a huge culture shock.
It was. I was excited.
Okay.
Very excited.
You understood that you were coming over.
I understood, I knew that I didn't know the language. I knew that it was going to be difficult and hard. But I knew that it was going to give us a better life.
Yeah.
So I did understand that.
Yeah.
And I wasn't afraid, but I was more, I think it was excitement and sadness because I was leaving everything behind, right? My best friends, I grew up with them my whole life. So leaving them, that was very hard. Our family, right?
Yeah.
And our family traditions with them. We knew that we were leaving them and we didn't know when we were going to come back. So it was a lot of sadness and excitement of, I get to see another country. I get to see how they live. I get to learn the different language, right? Like learning it perfect, not just how you learn it in a school,
right?
But learning
perfecting
it
the language.
And so it was both. And once we got here, I think it was like June. Yeah, so it was like during the summertime. So it was fun because I got to see, how the homes were built here, and it was different. The streets, everything was in English, right? And so I was trying to read and trying to understand that. And
what year did you come?
It was right when it was like 2008.
So you came
right in the crisis. Crisis happened.
Did you guys come to Utah directly? Or
yeah.
Okay. So you've been here since.
So I think that obviously that's where it was like months of struggle. Yes. And my parents did make the best of it. Like they would find ways for us to eat. So we never went like hungry, right, for days.
Right.
And super grateful for that. And then going into school, it was just, it was a huge culture shock because I didn't know anyone. I didn't speak the language. People acted different. They dressed different. But I was never really scared. Yeah, so I think that helped.
Oh, wow.
Did you ever experience bullying?
Yes. Yeah. And that was hard. Let's see. So it wasn't, which is interesting because it wasn't my first years here. It was kind of when I graduated, like when I was in 12th grade. So it was, I knew the language now, right? I had been here for years. And that one was really hard for me because I had no idea that bullying was even a thing. Like I didn't even have the word for it, right? So even if I wanted to tell my parents, I didn't know how to explain like what it is. And I was old enough to understand, but I still didn't know the word.
Right.
Yeah. And so I went, it was getting really bad. So I went to a teacher, it was my dad's teacher, and she said, Ari, what this is happening, like this is really bad. What they're doing to you is bullying. And so that's when like it clicked, like, wait, what is this, right? Like bullying, like what is that? I have no idea. And so when I went into more looking and getting more deep into it, I was like, okay, yeah, this is not okay. Like this is actually scary. Yeah. But it didn't happen on my first years, which is crazy because that's where you would think that it would happen. It happened when I was older. Yeah.
That's sad. Girls are mean.
Girls are so mean.
They're so mean. And
especially in junior high and high school.
Yeah. I have a girl, you have a girl. I'm sure I fear of that because I was also bullied. So, yeah. It's sad.
It is so sad. It's so scary. And I feel like sometimes you don't even, like, this is so weird because I was scared, right? For my life, scared.
Wow.
And I got older, I got married, and I had kids, and I moved out of Utah. I came back to Utah, and I just go by my life fine, right? And one day I went to a store, and I was just shopping around with Brielle, doing my thing. I turn around, and I see the girl.
That bullied
one of the girls, yes.
Oh my gosh.
And it was kind of like, you go back to that place, right? You go back to high school.
Yep.
And that's when I realized I just thought, okay, what is wrong? Like, this should not be happening, right? Like, I should be over it. And that's when you realize, like, some people really have some traumas
that
they just never even know that they have them until they see something or they remember something
triggers it.
Yes, yeah. And I've never done anything about it, and I guess, like, you know, like, people would tell you should go to therapy.
Right, yeah.
You should talk to people. And I've talked to people, like, people know it's not a secret.
Yeah.
And I just never thought it's a thing for me to go to therapy. Like, there's worse things in the world. I don't need to be, you know, wasting people's time.
Yeah.
I can get over it. But, yeah, there's, like, things that you just never get over it.
Yeah, that's, wow.
Yeah.
The fact that you think that there's, but you, like, that there's other things, which I do understand, but everybody's story is, like, valid, and everyone is, you know, true. I don't think you should, like, belittle that for yourself just because you think there's someone else with worse problems. Which I get that.
Yeah, which I'm sure, there's more extreme, like, bullying or more extreme, like, life problems, but you still got bullied, and it's okay to say, I got hurt. And if you do go see someone, you're not wasting their time. You can go see someone. We're just, like, hardcore with, like, going to therapy, mental health, like, talking about your feelings. Don't hide it. If you want to cry, we didn't bring any tissues, but I will let you borrow my sweater. But we're just, like, I don't know, really big on mental health.
Yeah.
Cry it out, girl. Cry it out.
But it's okay. It's a good thing that you don't feel like it affects your day-to-day life. It was just that one moment. So that's good.
Yeah.
So, do you have siblings?
Yes. One brother. That's it.
That's it. Your parents also the boy and the girl.
Just the two.
So is he older?
He is younger.
He's younger.
Yeah, he's the baby. Yeah, he's taller than me, but he's the baby. Yeah.
My little sister's also taller than me.
How was it like growing up in Mexico?
Yeah.
It was fun. It was so fun. We had a ranch in Mexico, and so we spent a lot of times there. And we had family in Zacatecas, so we would visit each other every other year, and that was always fun. And they have a ranch also there, and so I really grew up as a kid, right? You get dirty and you run and you get lost in the woods and you come back and you just, like, you really are
experiencing like a life.
Yes. No television, no electronics. My parents had different businesses when I was growing up, and so the last one they had was a restaurant, and I could eat whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted it. And I love food, so that was for me. That was always fun. But I loved Mexico. I will always love Mexico. But I am so happy that I'm here, and I don't think I would ever go back and live there. I'm happy that I grew up. I'm happy the experiences that I had. I didn't have a hard childhood. If I think about it, I'm like, I was so happy, and I just felt like I was free, with cousins and my brother, and so it was good.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
And then here you said you guys struggled a little bit once you guys got here, but your parents managed to get you guys through it. Here you, didn't your parents also used to work at Quiznos?
Yes, my dad.
Your dad. Okay, I remember you telling me that. What does he do now?
So right now he works at McDonald's.
Okay.
And he is the one who fixes the machines.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
The one, like, the ice cream machine?
The ice cream machine, the soda machine.
They need to hire more people doing that, because McDonald's ice cream machine's always broken. That's good, though. So he went from, like, doing the cooking and everything to, like, fixing the things, right? Okay, good for him.
Yeah, and so that was good. In Mexico, he was what is it called? Chemical engineer. Wow. So that's what he was, and then he went into having his own businesses. Coming here, it's like you become world. Nothing.
Right.
Yeah. Your degree isn't valid over here.
And so he did construction, he cleaned, tables, he cleaned bathrooms. And so now, like, to see them where they are now, that's where I cry. Because it's just, like it's amazing to see what parents would do for you.
Right?
Oh yeah,
of course. The sacrifices they do for their children.
Yeah.
Especially because they probably, I'm assuming, left Mexico to give you and
you guys a better life.
Yeah, the better life. Yeah. So like, I just want to make sure that I'm always
living up to their standard.
Yeah.
That's good. That's so, and you are. You really are.
Thank you.
And I mean, I don't know what your brother's doing, but he probably.
I don't know what he's doing.
No, I'm saying, like, I don't know what he does with his life, but I'm sure it sounds like your parents raised really good kids.
Thank you.
What's a pivotal moment in your life that made you who you are today?
I don't think there's a moment that just switched me, right? Like, that's kind of your thing, like a flip. I think since I was very little growing up, my mom would always used to tell me, insiste, resiste, persiste, right? So insist, persist, and just keep going. Like, don't give up, ever. Yeah. Whatever you're doing, don't give up. And so, and even when I didn't understand, like, I was tiny, and she would say it all the time, constantly, and I didn't understand what she meant until I got older. And, there were things that I would struggle with, and like, I don't know, like I couldn't wash a dish, right? Or things that were so little and you didn't think about it was a big deal, but she made a big deal, and she was always like, no, you can do it, not push it,
just make sure you didn't give up.
Yes, don't give up, don't ever give up, don't let anyone tell you how to live your life. If people tell you you can't, then you show them that you can. And so I think I don't think there was ever a switch. It was just my mom. Raised. Yes, my mom always telling me that, and she was always in my ear. And so I think everything that I do in life, even when I want to give up, she's right there. You have like her in the back of your head, just like you listen. Yeah. Don't give up, and show them that you can.
Yeah, I do remember you always talking about how your mom is with you. I was always so jealous. Like, that's so sweet. I do remember there was so many times you're like, my mom, and you're really close to your mom.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you closer to your mom than your dad? Or are you
both
of them?
I do remember it was both.
Yeah. My mom she's my best friend. I'll tell her everything, and she's the one who tells me, do this, don't do that. Or even if I want to give up, she's like, no, remember, right? Resiste, persiste. You can do it. Don't give up. And my dad is like, he'll still call me princess, right? He'll still make me coffee. He'll still do those little things as if I was a kid. A little girl. But I'm just like, I love my dad, right? Yeah. So I feel like I'm close to both of them in different ways.
Right.
Yeah.
What does your mom do now?
She's working at doTERRA.
Oh, is that the
little oils?
I said, okay.
Yes, yeah, she loves it. Yeah. Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Are your kids super close to their grandparents?
Yes.
To both sides?
Yeah. So I think my Brielle is very close to my mom. Like they will cry if they don't see each other for a while, right? Like they are that close. And then everybody loves my dad. My dad is like the fun grandpa. Okay. He was the one who would take me out in the woods, like have me jump this crazy rocks from right side to side, right? And people would think that's crazy, like you're gonna kill your kid. He was the one who would take me in motorcycle rides when I was little, right? Or let me drive the car when I couldn't even really reach the pedals. So he was like the fun, crazy, dad, and that's how he is with the kids. So I think the kids love that.
Adore him because of that.
Yeah. And then on my husband's side of the family, grandma is here in Utah, and so having her here, it's been fun because she's the one who buys the candy, right? Buys all the toys, and even when it's not even a special day, she'll bring us and buy things for the kids. Like they're getting spoiled that way, right? And that's when we have to remind them, like, you have to say thank you. You didn't have to have this, but they brought it to you. So she's fun. She'll watch the kids, so they are really close. And then with my dad, or my husband's dad, so he was in San Diego. He passed away recently.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And when we would go to San Diego, that it wasn't often, but the time that we would see him, we had horses. And so Bria will remember that, right? Like, Grandpa took me on the horses. Yeah.
Is your husband Mexican too?
No, he's from Louisiana. So he's white.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Full white. Yeah.
Wait, do your kids speak Spanish?
I'm trying very hard.
Our kids don't speak Spanish.
Our kids don't speak Spanish. Our kids are no sabo kids.
So hard. They'll understand everything.
Doesn't Nathan speak Spanish? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I feel like I remember he spoke Spanish. Yeah. Well, my kid's dad is Colombian, and neither one of us speak Spanish. So.
You guys speak Spanish, but just not to each other.
Oh yeah, like to each other. Like we don't speak Spanish to the kids. Is what I meant. Yeah. You know I speak Spanish because we had to working together.
I'm like, right, you speak.
Yeah, we speak. We grew up with speaking Spanish because our parents are like, no, you guys have to speak Spanish. You have to keep the two languages. Yeah. Whenever we tried speaking English to them, they'd be like, ¿qué? Like the way they're like, no, I don't speak English. But and then with our kids, we kind of
it's hard. You're so used to like speaking English to your partner, and then you're like, no, this is awkward.
It's hard.
It's hard.
With the kids, I always spoke to them in Spanish when they were first born. Always. But obviously, all their cousins, right? And
then school.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's so easy for them to forget it or not want to speak it.
Right.
And so I always have to remind them, like, speak Spanish. Like, no, I'm just gonna pretend that I don't, you know. But they could care less because they know that I do.
Yeah. Like, wait, so how do they communicate with your parents? Do your parents speak English?
No, they're learning still.
Yeah, it's okay.
They're teaching each
learning. Yeah. Brielle will speak to them in Spanish. Like, is what you would call like macho. It's like bad, thick accent, right? We're like working on it. And Kai was speaking Spanish. He was getting really good. Yeah. And then
started school.
Now cousins and Brielle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so now he just doesn't want to. Yeah. So we're still working on it. We even thought about maybe we just ship them to Mexico. Right? For 6 months. Like, you have to speak it.
No. Our parents used to tell us that all the time. We're going to take you guys to Mexico.
Send you.
Yeah, but when we were being bad.
But we're like, okay, but we want to go to Mexico City because that's our mom's from Mexico City. We're like, but because that's where the desmadre is at. Yeah. And my dad's like, no, we're taking you guys to Guanajuato because that's where his family from, and they were a little bit more on the boring side. Yeah. But they're like, we're not taking you guys to Mexico City because you guys are just gonna rebel out more.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you guys ever go? Have you gone back to Mexico City?
Yeah, so I've gone back to Mexico City. I go a lot more. I think the last time I went was 2 years ago.
Okay.
I went for 3 years in a row, and then 2 years ago I took my son to Cancun.
Oh, okay.
And then I don't know. This year we might go. I don't know. We want to plan a trip, but yeah, I've gone to Mexico City more than they have gone. I've been wanting to go to Guanajuato because our dad's from there, and he took us to Las Momias.
Oh, okay.
El Callejón del Beso.
I have, yes.
I want to take my son, like, just to show him, like, this is
history,
like, our parents took us here, and I thought it's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
And to show them, like, you should appreciate what you guys have.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Because I feel like we saw more kids, like, the pobreza more in Guanajuato than we did in Mexico City.
Yeah, I remember when we were driving up the mountain to go to like the momias and stuff like that, there was kids that would come onto our car like hungry, and my dad would give them our snacks because he's like, you guys see how lucky you are, and that's when you like get humbled real quick. You're like, or
they're selling, the
chicken.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Do you remember that one time we went to downtown and we were buying hot dogs, and my dad the kids came up to my dad, and he ended up buying everybody some. I'm like, my heart.
And they were so happy eating their hot dogs. Yeah.
And our kids probably would have just took a bite and thrown the rest of it away.
I'm done.
No, it definitely humbling moments going to Mexico. Growing up.
For sure.
Yeah.
But, okay, one question. Well, I have a couple. So, what do you hope people will remember you for? People, family, friends, the world.
I think, I don't know, I thought about it, but not too deeply. I think I have people told me recently that I was, you know, a nice person and I was here to help other people, so they liked that about me. And when they told me that, I thought, you know, like, I love that. I want people to remember me as someone who was here to help them, and someone who was a good friend, and someone who actually cared. And it was just not always business. Because I wouldn't want to remember as, like, you know, she was the bully one, or she was the mean one, right? Or all she wanted was money. So that, like, remember me as for who I am, right? And I think that's where real estate changes you, because it is a career that will change your life completely, right? It just, and you have no idea what's gonna happen. Like, some people fail, some people make it in life very high because of real estate. And so I started seeing that, and I was like, wow, like, real estate really is a game changer. Like, it's amazing what it's doing. And so I always have to remember, all right, stay humble. Like, it doesn't matter how much money, you know, or how far you make in life. Stay humble, stay who you are, stay true to who you are, because you don't want people to remember you any other way. And so I think that's what it is. And then like, my parents remembering me as, like, all the sacrifices that they made was worth it, right? And, like, they see me, they're like, oh, we made it, right? Like, what we wanted, it happened.
Oh, I think that's so good. And honestly, though, I do want to add to that. So you you helped my brother buy his first.
I love Marvin.
You helped Marvin?
Yeah, she's the one that helped him. Yeah, so she helped my brother buy his first condo, or what was it? His condo. And she told me, she was like, she's the first person who was super honest with me. And anybody else would have just been like, no, buy this. Like, Ari was like, are you sure you want it? Like, you gave him advice and all of this stuff. And he's like, I know she's not in it for the money. And so she really is. She really does have a good heart. And that's why, like, we're the type of friends where, like, we go so long without talking, and when we talk, it's like nothing. And it's because of who you are. Like, I truly love who you are, Ari, and I'm super glad you came to I honestly, truly thank you for coming onto this podcast. Obviously, you know, it's a new thing for me, for us.
I know, thank you.
We appreciate your time, knowing you're such a busy woman, and you're a mother, you're a wife, you have kids and a husband to go home to, but you took the time to be here today. So honestly, thank you
so much.
And you guys, don't forget to follow her. We're going to post her on social media, so you guys can follow her real estate page.
Any questions for any real estate questions, hit her up.
She's your girl. But yeah, so that is it. Do you want to add anything else before we close out the video?
I don't think so. No, I'm so thankful to be here, and I'm so happy to see you again, because we kept thinking, when are we going to see each other?
I know.
And Marvin is amazing. I love Marvin. Like, I tell my husband that all the time. Marvin is the best.
He's kind.
Yeah, you guys have a beautiful family.
Thank you.
But that is it for today's episode, you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.